Thank you very much, and thank you, friends of the children's television. Thank you for bringing me here. It's very nice to be here with you. Okay. This is a new way of using my keynotes. I hope I manage. Just to introduce myself, I have been director of children's and youth and drama programs for many years. Then director of programs in NRK, Norway, Norwegian Public Service Company. Vice chairman of the EBU's children group, EBU's European Broadcasting Union. And that brought me also a lot to Asia. I was director of culture for the Norwegian Pavilion in Shanghai 2010. Then I have stopped working in NRK and lived 1 year in Shanghai, Ni Hao. Yeah. But I'm Pichu, that is the only word I know. Yeah. And later on, manager of the Nordic Children's Media Festival. And I made some documentaries from China. And also chairman of the Norwegian and Chinese Film Festival. So I have connections to China, but this is my first time in Taiwan. I'm very happy to be here. Now, Norway. Norway is the poor cousin in the outskirts of Europe. Very cold, it's still snow there now. And we are about 5.5 million people. Oslo, the capital, is around 600,000, so we are small. We have a long coastline, which gives very good condition for fishing. We grow a lot of salmon that are brought to Asia. So if you eat sushi, you probably eat it with Norwegian salmon. We have a lot of mountains and waterfall, which give good condition for electricity from the waterfall. So we have clean electricity from water, which gave 100 years ago industry in the Norwegian country, which brought us from being farming and fishing land to be an industry. And 50 years ago, by luck, we found some oil in the North Sea, oil and gas. And suddenly we were not the poor cousin of Europe, but we were the rich uncle of Europe. We give high priority to children. As an example, on our National Day, we don't have a military parade, but the children have a big parade with all the schools in the center of Oslo, going out to the castle where the king is. So, let me talk a little bit about children. Children have a strange ability to predict the future and reach for what is yet to come. Training and practice on what is important in the community they will live in. We who have passed 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 prefer to look back. Every childhood should be the same as our own, or preferably equal to our grandparents. That's what we think a good childhood should be. We who are adults have to remember that children today are growing up in a very different world than we did. Children today live in an electronic world, computers, videos, a large number of TV stations, internet, broadband, and mobile communication, streaming, all is possible. Children are the ones that, quick as lightning, learn the new technology. In kindergartens in Norway, it's the 5-year-old that teach the 3-year-old to use computer, not the adult staff. The children are more competent. Usually, we used to say with grandfather or grandmother on their knees. Previously, it was the older generation that was to give the younger generation knowledge. Today, it's often the other way around. Children teach parents, grandparents, and teachers the use of computer and new technology. And they are open-minded for what is coming. Development is more rapid than we sometimes think, and it's hard to predict the future. And sometimes that is very hard to accept for the grown-ups, especially for people in leading positions. When I started at the university in Oslo in 1963, a long time ago, we had one computer in Norway, as large as this room. And at home, we had a big TV set. We had a radio cabinet, telephone. I had a big camera. I had a typewriter. Today, all is in this one, and with much higher effectivity than the big computer in the whole room. So, it's hard to predict the future. This telephone has too many shortcomings to ever be a serious communication. It had absolutely no value to us. That was a memo from Western Union in 1874. Although it's technically possible to create television, it's financially and commercially impossible. Kalle Fürst, the inventor, in 1935. I think there is a world market in about 5 computers. Thomas Edison led on IBM, 1943. Sorry? It's a little bit difficult to see it on the small screen. There is no reason why someone should wish to have a computer at home. Ken Olsen, president and the founder of Digital Equipment, 1977, 50 years ago. So, children today are more intelligent than previously. Unfortunately for me, and maybe for you, and one of the reasons lies in the use of media from early age. Use of game, no matter what game it is, train the brain nerves pathways so that they are functioning well when they begin to learn at school. It's like physical exercise. If you have a good basic form, it's easier to be good in a specialty. This, combined with better nutrition and better education, give today's children a much better position than before. Sometimes adults, unfortunately, react negative too. Children are different and with different interests, just like adults are. We are not talking about children as a homogeneous group. Therefore, they are on the outlook for the diverse and varied offer from the media. The way we look at children changed. When we started with children's television in Norway 6 years ago, children was seen as human becomings. They were seen as passive recipients and childhoods as a preparation for adult life. Children today are looked at. Today we look at children as human beings. We look at them as independent individuals, and childhood is a time with its own value. We want to show as much variety and difference as possible in our program, as much as in the real life. Children as human beings means that we present the children and adults as equal partner and not from a top-down angle. Children have rules in which their point of views, wishes, and suggestions are taken seriously. Children should have the opportunity to master as much as possible. By showing that children can, we encourage other children to be able to and try themselves. Our program should be a workshop for self-confidence. To be visible means that you exist. To be asked shows that you are important. To be given space in the media shows that you have a place in society. We want to give them roots so they know where they come from, and wings so they can fly. Live's children on screen sounds obvious, but it's not. Animated figures are much easier to dub. Norwegian is a small language and in a global context. If you don't hear your own language, you don't speak it. That's why it is important to make programs with your own children on screen as actors, presenters, and as main characters in documentaries. What we offer the child helps them to strengthen their identity, their language, and their cultural roots. The smaller the language and cultural area are, the more important this is. In Norway, we have one public service channel, which is NRK, financed by from the parliament. And the government has set some regulation for NRK, and NRK is, and I give you some of the most important. The purpose of NRK is to meet democracy, social and cultural needs in the society. NRK should strengthen Norwegian and Sami language, identity and culture. And we talked about earlier today, we have one minority in Norway, which is the Lappish people, the Sami people, original nomads living in the north part of Norway. So in NRK, we also have a Lappish Sami radio and television that make their own programs, both for adults and for children. NRK should have daily Norwegian language programs for children under the age of 12 and regular programs for children in the Sami language. So this is what the rules given by the parliament is. Now, when we are discussing children's program, who should promote children's program and fight for it in the society? Should it be the government, the parliament, the board of NRK, the CEO of NRK? usually you don't have a prime minister who said that. We have to put more resources into children's television. So those who are working with the children's program are those who are has to work for it. So that's why we started to work so hard to establish the Norwegian Children's Channel, NRK Super with Norwegian content, and of course Nordic and international content. And that's why we organized, and that's why you here in Taiwan also is organizing this meeting. It's important for the children's television. What we did, I looked at the market share, and I have to move over here, because you can see in 1992, we had a market share around 62 and 54. It rose a little bit, and then it was gradually going down, especially for the 7 to 11 year, which means that there were more international channels coming into our country by cables and satellites. And as long as we only have 1 hour a day with children's program, and Disney had 24 hours, when they had watched our program for 1 hour, they went to the other channels. So this was one of our arguments for this. But it was hard work. It was hard work with the Parliament, with the government, with the board of NRK. But at last we won the fight, and we managed to establish these children's channels, and we managed to double the budget for children's production. And it worked. From here to here, 4 years later. That's a good result. And if you look into the budget, in Norway, we have a budget on Norwegian 180 million Norwegian crowns, which is around 18 million US dollar. Norway is 5.4 million, Taiwan is 24, so if you divide this with 5, you should have 100 million US dollar for producing Taiwan programs. Totally. Do you have that? No. Our staff in NRK is 85, and we set out 40% of the budget, which means that in Norway it's around 150 people working with children's television. The staff in Taiwan should be 340, and with the freelancer, it should be around 500 people working with children's television, which means that this should have been much larger public here for this. So you have to fight for it. Now, let's have a look here. If you see the orange, that is YouTube. The blue one is Netflix, and the green one is NRK. In December, where we put a lot of extra resources into the Christmas calendar, we managed to fight YouTube. And of course, NRK have a lot of programs also published on YouTube, but most of the programs are screened on NRK platform. Nearly nothing is watched on the schedule, when everything is watched by the platform, which means that we even managed to fight YouTube and be the largest screening channel. And I tell you a little bit on how we, or they now, think about this. In Norway, we have 3 channels, 1, 2, and 3. 3 is the youth channel. And now other programs are streamed. And in the player NRK TV, you can also stream all previous programs produced for NRK for the last 60 years. So I can go into this platform and watch myself as a presenter 50 years ago. I've changed a little bit. Yeah. And NRK Super, the children's channel, experienced that more and more of the children's viewing take place on the player. So they have completely dropped the schedule, and they are in a kind of forefront on trying to do this. So they have TikTok and YouTube and everything. And I tell you the priority, and they have 4 priorities. First, build on your brand that children know from before. A lot of quantity. If you make a series, you have to have number of episodes and seasons. It's not the single programs, but many, many programs. But you also have to put extra resources into some programs to make high-quality program from your own country. And of course, if you find a new concept with worldwide interest, that is good. I will give you 4 examples. The mini-bana. They are bringing a puppet that the toddlers really know, and they make some very simple programs. Up to now, 4 seasons, 6 episodes of 17 minutes. And this is also made in the Lapis Sami versions.
Mini-barna.
The next one is quantity. Klassen, a class, a lot is consumed, and therefore large amount of episodes are produced. The class is a co-production between Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Each country produces its episode using the same script and the same production templates. 7 seasons of 52 programs out of 9 to 10 minutes has been produced in the Nordic countries. And it has been running for more than 1 year. The new one, we have...
Hi, my name is Linus. I play in the Norwegian TV series VGS, which is a series about students at a Norwegian high school. We have recorded in season 1 40 episodes, and for season 2 and 3 will consist of 30 episodes in each season. Each day we record 4 episodes, 2 before lunch and 2 after. We have 2 teams with 2 cameras each. So one team will record 1 episode before lunch, the other team will record 1 episode before lunch, and so on after lunch. My name is Linus. I play in the Norwegian TV series VGS, which is a series about students.
It's coming twice. I changed it, but it didn't work. So they produce a really lot of programs, 4 episodes of 10 minutes each day. which is very impressive. And the third, quality. Every 3 or 4 years we make a Christmas calendar, 24 episodes of 25 minutes broadcast around Christmas, and we use around 10% of the budget totally for this production, which means that it's high quality, and that's why we also managed to rise the streaming in December, because children are looking at this high quality program. And the third,
Her har skjedd frem til nå. Blir du med hjem?
daily
Hjem?
production,
Ja, der,
daily publication. We was the first one to establish a kind of video diary called Girls and Mia that was brought to Prisoners in 2015. Nobody understand what it was. But when we took this up to high school and made Scum, which was called Shame, suddenly it completely took off. It was the same director and the same writer who had been behind both Mia and Jente, but she went to high school, then she could have a little bit more edgy themes. The concept was that you follow all the character fictional's life from day to day on Scum's website and see character on social media, including Instagram and Facebook. During each week, small clips were posted on the website, which on Friday were collected into an episode that was posted on NRK TV. And every half year, a complete compilation of 2.5 hours. On average, the website had in Norway, with 5 million people, 1.2 million unique users per week, and more than 1 million people streamed the weekly episodes in the country with 5 million. And same went out to the world: France, US, Sweden, Netherlands, Germany, Italy, Belgium, and Spain. And in China, it was broadcasted on WeChat with Chinese subtitles. So, in May, in a way, I think that it's possible to fight against the big national companies which want to dominate the world and earn money on our children, and to influence politically and culturally. So you have to fight for local content, more budget, excellent people working with children's television, and you will be able to fight against YouTube and American cartoons. So, thank you very much.